You are listening to Power Stance Gamers Podcast, the best place for quality tabletop banter. With your hosts, Jacob, Greg, and Muddy.
So, thank you and welcome to this episode of Power Stance Gamers. I'm your host, Jacob Connor, and with me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts. I don't know why I've just called them wonderful. That's the last adjective I have in my mind at the moment. Mr. Muddy, how you doing tonight?
Hey, how you going?
And Mr. Greg, how are you?
What's up, fools?
Alrighty, this episode is an interesting episode. We're going to throw back in the day, and what? Basically ask why. Why do we still play? Why do we play tabletop games? What is it about this hobby that brings us in? But before we do that, we're going to do our customary whip around. And again, listeners, Greg's freaking out here. It's his favourite section. This week's question, and we remind you that if you have a question you want us to answer in the whip around section, or for our upcoming rapid fire whip around, feel free to get on our socials, Facebook, Twitter. Leave us a message on Podbean, however you want to do it, and let us know what you want us to answer at the start of the question. This week is a very interesting one, and I'm going to put it to the boys, and I'm happy to kick it off if you want. If you could turn any intellectual property, any IP, into a tabletop game.
Oh, that's mental.
Easy.
That's crazy.
Easy. I've got it. Star Wars.
Star Wars? There is
Land battles.
Jacob's supposed to be...
That's alright, I'm used to him jumping in.
Fucking...
Used to
Getting
him
in
jumping
before
in.
he fucking gets rid of it. Star Wars land battles in, let's say, 10 mil scale.
6 mil.
6 mil, 6, 10, whatever.
Right, so epic scale, Star Wars.
Aye.
Nice.
You reckon?
Yep.
Have you played Rebel Assault?
No, but that's a board game, right?
Yeah, kinda. You can play it.
It's got miniatures, but it's
Miniatures.
a board game. No, I'm talking like an epic on the
At
table.
Arts, Scout Walkers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be pretty appealing.
Actually, now you mentioned AT-ATs, I'm there.
Imagine how...
I'm at tipping point here.
And the, dudes flying around.
Scout Bikers.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can have little Ewoks too.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe just leave them out.
No, put the Ewoks
And
in
what are the... what's Jar Jar Binks' race?
Gungans.
That's it.
Gungans.
What about them? A whole bunch of them. You can
and they
actually
had
wipe
the-
them out.
and
You
they
can
had
actually wipe out their whole race. And that way then...
You'd never have to listen to him.
That's it. All gone. From my world, they're all gone.
But you could bring in all that the Trade Federation stuff and everything. Like I think it could be. Seriously, I can't believe this hasn't been.
Who could manufacture it?
Fantasy Flight.
Fantasy Flight. We'll get onto it. Send this podcast to them and
Who's their celebrity that I can
tweet them.
write a letter to?
Just send a tweet. Come on, social media manager.
I'll write him a letter. It's Dave. Morayfield. Star Wars cat.
Alright, yeah, okay, you sold me on that. I want to buy it. I want to play it. Greg, any IP in a
Still
tabletop
thinking,
game?
off you go. You had a good one. Let's listen to it in case I
Me?
steal it.
I want to see a Fallout miniatures game. It's a Fallout from the Bethesda RPG on consoles and PCs. So set...
It's a post-apocalyptic thing, right?
It's post-apocalyptic.
Yep.
So Fallout essentially is that, imagine in 2070, we've got basically 1950s America sort of back in vogue, and that's when the bombs drop. So it's like this future retro vibe to it, but the games are all set 100, 200 years after the bombs have dropped.
Far out.
So you're coming out of the shelters, the vaults they call them, into this post-apocalyptic world. With all these factions and stuff, and you've got your Brotherhood of Steel, who are like basically paladins walking around in power armor, trying to preserve technology from the past. You've got all sorts of things. They had the New Vegas one featured Caesar and his legions. So it's like a wasteland tribe that had adopted the Roman legions and stuff. I think it could be amazing. And there's some wicked imitation.
Spartans, though.
Of course.
It needs Spartans.
It needs Spartans. There's some wicked knockoff sort of miniatures getting around from the game, but there's not like a rule set. And there's stuff that's similar. Like there's a game called This Is Not a Test, and it's kind of the same. It's like a skirmish level post-apocalyptic stuff.
Game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a test.
Yeah, but like it's still.
But it is.
Yeah, the bombs are dropping. This is not a test. Proceed to your shelters.
Oh,
this
so
is not a
this
test.
is not a drill?
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, Fallout would be. I'd hate to think the amount of hours. I reckon I probably spent easily 1,000 hours playing those games.
Oh,
Since
Jacob Connor.
Fallout came out in,
I'll say
97?
I've-
The original Fallout, 1997?
All
Yeah,
right, so you
easily 1,000 hours.
So
playing
since
those games.
1997,
Yeah.
it's 1,000.
I think that's when the first one came out.
I've started playing
Maybe
a little bit
99.
on
I'm
the
gonna have to look it
computer
up.
side of things, but I'm not clocking in that. That's just crazy.
So how many weeks is that? It's 40 hours in a week. So what's that? That's so 100 divided by 4.
How many hours in a week?
No, a working week.
A working week.
Yeah, 40 hours in a working week.
Jeez, not for fucking. I'm a teacher, mate.
Roughly. Well, how many weeks is that? So 4 divided by 100 is what? Roughly
I'm not
25.
doing maths right now.
50 working weeks, yeah, easily.
A year. You spend a working week of a year playing Fallout games.
At least. Yeah, so give me a tabletop version.
Wait up, how much time do you spend painting terrain?
That's not the point. That's not, don't ask that question.
That's it, we're not talking about Greg right now.
yeah. Well,
It's how much of a nerd Jacob is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about
have you had any psychologists give you a
that.
tingle to
no.
talk
Yeah.
about your
Just have a few beers.
issues?
Alright, so now the spotlight's back on you, Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Any IP.
Okay, can I have 2?
He's always got to.
He's gone from not having an answer to wants two, alright.
So can I have 2, right?
I bet none of them are a game either.
First one would be Mad Max.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Taking Mad Max and put it
Yeah,
onto
I could
tabletop.
see that. Again, kind of that post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be so easy done. You could have like car races or car
Yeah,
car battles
And you can not talk
or
in
trucks. Yeah,
it. You cannot
just,
talk
yeah.
during the game.
Yeah, just give me Furiosa. You know, I'm not big on muscly women, but... The shaved head as well. Something about that.
Yeah, so Mad Max, and the second one is a computer game with I can't. It's just the name's just gone. It's the one that's it's controversial, where you can get like hookers in your back of your car and lots of stuff.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, yeah, game based Grand Theft Auto.
A tabletop game.
Yeah.
You
Basically.
want to play a tabletop game where you can put hookers in the back of your car.
No, I'm only using that because you two would know what I'm talking about.
You said hookers, and I knew exactly what I was talking about. But it's not just you put them in the back of your car. You have sex with them, then you kill them and take the money.
Oh, right.
that's-
Yeah, I was going to say actually it's because you got different missions, and one of them's to assassinate a guy, or one of them's to like go and break some guy's hands because he's not, giving you money or whatever. Well, you're not giving your crime boss money, or you can just go full rampage and take on the army if you want.
So you're not doing it just for the hookers?
Not just for the
meant-
hookers.
You want it for the hookers, not me.
I want to play Star Wars. you want to put hookers in the back of your car.
A tabletop game based on it. Maybe.
All right, that's a good question, and just remember, if you have these whip around questions, feel free, send them in. We want to answer them. We want to get answer the questions you want to ask us, and we might even fling you some sweet Power Stance Gamer merchandise.
When we develop it.
We don't actually have any, but we might.
We want to give it to you.
We
want to give it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We just don't have it.
Intention. This is good intentions. Alright, so moving on to our main segment tonight. And as I said at the top of the program, what we're going to talk about tonight is the why behind our gaming. So we've talked a lot about it, how, we've talked a lot about the who, what we'd like to do with it, but we haven't really discussed, our origin story, if you want. Why we game and why we continue to game. So, I think we're just going to put it out there, and I'm going to throw to Greg with his immaculately prepared notes.
Oh,
Always.
every time.
Thanks, Jesse. Always come prepared, unlike some people.
Is that the grocery list written there next to
Are
it?
you joking me? Come on. Listen, I think you'll be a bit surprised by this, but the reason why...
Nothing surprises me. Anything is possible.
The reason why I guess I'm drawn to our hobby is tactics. Love it.
Tactics.
Yeah.
Not the
Um,
models.
No.
No, yeah, that's...
You spend your
I'm
whole
actually-
waking day
Yeah.
painting models, but that's
Yeah.
not the bit.
That frustrates me. Unbelievably frustrates me. It doesn't... Don't...
You intentionally hurt yourself every day for hours on end.
I waste my time, basically. I waste my time for hours.
You must be in so much pain.
You know why? Because whenever I paint something, within a week or a few days, I'm like, yeah, it's just not good enough. I can do better. I can push it. I can go that extra. I can go a little bit further. Or see it, like, because I'm constantly on Facebook. Not constantly, because I'm getting constant updates from other painters from all around the world. You get to see amazing miniatures. You go,
so it puts it. It feels like
nice
you
of
feel like
shit.
It kind of puts
Yeah.
you
So I
back
think
into place.
as soon as I think,
You're
oh, that's
supposed to use
great.
that is inspiring.
No, I don't. I just go,
You
it's
go,
that
that's
shit all the time. Yeah.
Heck, we can do that. Yeah.
So tactics. Yeah, I love
Tactics. I'm freaking out right now. Are you freaking out?
I'm freaking
I'm
out.
freaking out.
I'm freaking out.
Tactics. You're gonna need to give us some more.
Well,
Some more.
it goes back to probably not when I was a teenager so much because there's no army
It goes
books.
back to his Warhammer days where he used to walk with Techless from one side of the building to the other side
How
of the
many of
building.
you used Techless once?
So you couldn't get
I came
charged.
second at a tournament.
Yeah, sorry about the game, because we didn't really play.
So it goes back to not so much my teenage days because the rules were quite rubbery and there wasn't army lists were only starting to be developed and stuff. So this is more about when I came into gaming in my second incarnation. And back at 7th edition, my first tournament, which was at Queen's Northern Knights, which was a fantasy tournament where you two were at, and I played you, and you broke my gyrocopter, but we won't talk about that. It was at that tournament where, leading up to it, man, it took me a bloody week trying to get my lists, trying to work through the army list, trying to get it right. You know, which and I play dwarves, right? So it shouldn't be that hard. So it was how many cannons was taken, and I couldn't decide. But seriously, I could not.
Have you got a best sports?
Yeah, of course.
Wait
A couple, few. Cheeky bugger.
Did you get a best sports when I was on your team?
Yes. So.
Power gamer.
No,
I carried you!
Are you joking me?
I must have carried you!
I was always mid bloody table, despite my my tactical acumen.
Yep.
But I don't necessarily love writing lists, but what I'll do, I like thinking about lists. So it's probably not writing lists, because I don't actually sit there and actually try and work it out mathematically. I just go, like for example, there's a couple of tournaments coming up, and I keep playing with things, and I'm like, oh, I really like that miniature, and I like that rule set for that particular miniature, but I really like this other one. And I'm like, I can't decide.
So are you, when you're doing your list, are you putting in miniatures that you like, or are you looking at the rules and putting them in first?
I'm always trying to develop the most balanced list that can take on any army, as opposed to...
when you're doing your Infinity, say you got your tournament coming up, you're literally going, alright, this guy will be really good.
Meet this faction, I've got this to deal with. Meet this faction, I've got this to deal with.
Yep.
Meet this faction, I've got this to... Meet this faction, I haven't got
Which
this.
is actually good list building. You probably should be...
It is, yeah.
I know us two aren't really that
No,
way
we do not do
inclined.
that at all.
I just go, I like this unit because it looks really cool. I'll put it in there and I'll work my way around it. But what you do is obviously a lot more effective.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I don't know about that, but I'm just trying to get that optimum balance.
It is
in-
looking up at you from the bottom of the table. It's probably more effective.
But also, I'm not one of those people that can just look at a King's War or whatever it is, Infinity, and just go, oh yeah, this unit is stellar because it's got X, Y, Z. I don't necessarily work that way because that might not fit into the rest of the flavour of my so-called balanced list. So I'm always trying to aim for that optimum balance. I'm never trying to go for an absolute sledgehammer because I don't think that's fair in anyone. I never did that in fantasy.
So you're basically disciplining yourself.
Yeah, correct.
You know,
And also
reining it back
Infinity,
in.
which is the main system I play, provides that cap where you can't put in all these big guns because there's only a certain limit you can take, and you hit that cap, and boom, you're maxed
let
out.
up. So, what was that guy that Brad had?
Achilles. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
did
he's
he
a-
just like destroy
he's a
at the
total
tournament
tank.
some guy's
Yeah.
whole army single-handedly?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
You haven't got. Have you got that?
No.
Is he a different faction?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he in one game we played, same tournament, where you guys doubled up for Infinity, I was doubled up with Brad. And Achilles beat the other guy's game so hard that we only got a minor victory.
Because you'd won so
Because we
quick.
won so quickly that we couldn't score.
Jesus.
And I kept saying, slow down, slow down, slow down. He's like, dead, dead,
Brad's
dead.
just
I'm doing
going,
the dice rolling hand gestures if people aren't paying
Yeah.
attention at home. But it was just, he's fucking insane. Don't worry.
Is he the only mini that's that? Because he's the only one that because I don't play.
Oh.
But listening to you guys, he does come up in conversation. He's the only one that I know in conversation.
Achilles.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know any of the other miniatures names.
Look, it's one of those things that he's very powerful.
Yep.
But there are ways to deal with him. But if you
Yep.
come across an army that can't deal with him, then game
It's
over
over.
Yeah.
before you even
Yep.
start.
So,
So-
should what we did the doubles. He gives me bloody werewolves.
Yeah.
Those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They
did
can chomp 'em.
nothing. They did nothing.
Yeah.
All they did was die.
But I think Jacob did say, jump up in this building, and then he shot you dead.
Yeah,
So it's
I
sort
looked
of, you
at it and
kind
I
of...
said,
In my defense, I wanted to win the game.
So he set me up. He
Yeah.
told me, he said, "Oh, that shouldn't have happened."
Yeah.
He was all apologetic. I'm like, oh,
Whenever
yeah,
you
this is
told
a
me
great
what you
idea.
did as your team player, as your
Yeah.
partner, I just want you know better.
But it looked really cool.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
you're talked into it.
Oh, right. And then he's like, "Oh, oh, sorry about that. That shouldn't have happened." And I took it at face value. I thought,
look.
maybe it was a really lucky roll, like one of those crit rolls or something.
Yeah, it
And you're telling
It
me
was
you
a
gamed
crit
me the
roll.
whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
You were gamed.
It was a crit roll.
See,
Now,
this is
Can
what-
we get off the topic of me being a bad sport and on to back to you and tactics? Is this one of the reasons you think Infinity is up there for you?
100%.
You
That's
guys are always talking about how
that's why
tactical it is.
fantasy scratched my my itch as far as thinking about angles, thinking about the pre-measuring and back in seventh you couldn't measure, so
Yeah.
that there's that whole element of tactics, I guess. And then 100% with eighth, you had all the rules and stuff. And I know that's one of the criticisms we've talked about before. But to me, yes, it was negative, but it was a massive positive because there was just so much happening. And to a point, my sort of brain sort of needs that that element. And Infinity gives me that, totally. It gives me that real component where so many things happen at once.
There's no from the games that I've played. There's no switching off.
No.
Infinity, nah.
Yeah.
You're constantly having what do you call it? Where it's like Overwatch or something.
Arrow.
Automatic reaction.
Oh, okay, right. So it's constantly having I think I've got a thing
Yeah.
here and yada yada.
Yep. As you said, it's always your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never ends.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's only 3 turns too, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only played
RTS games, yeah.
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 So quick. What about you, Munster? What's your
Oh yeah, what's the question?
Well, if you had your notes in front of you, that's right.
Where
you're
are your
doing
notes?
Why do I play?
Yeah.
Look, I just like the miniatures and the board, and I like. I've always back to school. I enjoyed ancient history. Ancient history was my favourite class, and I got to learn about the Persian Wars. I found it fascinating. Like I've told you guys, like I've got lectures. We're talking 20 odd hours of lectures talking about Persian Wars and the Peloponnesian Wars and all this. I just can sit there and listen to it. I find it so fascinating. I can never remember it after about 15 minutes, but I find the stories really interesting. So fantasy also scratches that itch. Like you've got big dragons flying around, but it's essentially, let's be honest, it's pretty much an ancient game. You've still got swords and spears.
Yeah,
except
that's
you've
right.
got dragons flying around.
It borrows very heavily from the ancient history.
And if you look at half the miniature lines, they're always borrowing from some form of older culture.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I find that quite cinematic, and most of the movies that I actually enjoy watching are of that same ilk. So to me, it's an extension of that. It's almost like I'm playing a movie. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but like we played the other day. We played that Spartans and the Romans. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
something I'd love to see a movie on that.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be great. So it's basically that. That's my reasons.
And so, if we're talking about games and systems and things that really meet this, for
Criteria.
you, criteria,
Yep.
what are we talking about here? Any sort of ancient rule set, or is it, I guess with this, is it more the models for you that sort of drag you in, not necessarily the rules?
No, well, so when 8th edition, I did play in a Warhammer Ancient Battles tournament, and that was it was pretty much 7th ed.
Mm.
It's essentially 7th ed, but with
With no like monsters and stuff.
no monsters. It was Ancients 7th ed. I found that good, but that nobody played. So a few other systems came out over the times, but no one that I knew essentially played. They were all playing fantasy at that point. Death of 8th edition comes along. Kings of War steps up, takes some of the punters, some of the refugees from that. And then obviously they've brought out a Kings of War historical. So it's pretty much a progression of that. It's gone, I like fantasy, I like ancients. There's one company that's got essentially the same rules to play both. So all I've done is just migrated from one to another.
Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. But there's not as much list building. Like you're right into your list building and whatnot. Infinity.
I'm not a list builder. I just like it's the whole tactical element. It's not just
building a list to suit the tactics that you're trying to
Yeah,
employ
100%.
on the pitch. I get that. I'm just more. I want my Spartan Royal Guard because it's cool.
Yeah.
So I'll paint those. And to be fair, like Victrix is the main company that I go to for the ancient stuff. It's a good product for good prices, and they're constantly bringing out new things. And I've been lucky in that they're bringing out the products that I actually like, because obviously when you're talking historicals, there's so many different periods they could be producing. Because I know they're big on Napoleonics. I like Napoleonics. Me and Jacob have spoken about. I don't know much about it, but I'd like to get into something like that. But the problem with the Napoleonics is, I think, the rule sets.
Yeah.
With historicals, it's so fractured. There's so many different rule sets.
Man, you've made your Galactic Battle game. You should get onto Napoleonics and make.
I want to take on Napoleonics. I think
that's what I found with moderns. Getting into moderns is that there was a real appeal there for the miniatures for me, but I couldn't find necessarily a rule set that was consistent or people played.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually halfway kind of decent. So I think I got a bit lucky when we got into Osprey stuff, and I found Black Ops, and that sort of started me down that road.
It's very hard because it seems like most gamers that or at least that we know, are more into fantasy, sci-fi, whether it's skirmish, mass, whatever. Historicals is almost like a dirty word.
I think it's an acquired taste, but I think it's more you gravitate towards it after you've probably tried everything else.
Possibly. As
That's
I'm getting
fair to
older,
say, yeah.
My beard's getting longer. Maybe, possibly, I'm almost going back to where I almost started. Where I'm almost going back to high school with the Persian Wars. Like I'm actually going back to where I was. But honestly, the only historical systems that I can think of that have ever had any real major traction up our way, you'd have to say Flames of War and Bolt Action. Yeah. Apart from that, there's no. I see some of the guys used to play the Napoleonics every now and then.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
It looks fantastic.
The historical tables always look
I
amazing.
dream of looking up at my shelf in my study and having a beautiful British line infantry.
Because we've discussed we were going
it would
to
be
if we were going to
fantastic.
do like the American Civil War, or if we were going to go the 7 Years War or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Napoleonics. I'd go the Prussians.
Yeah, so now I'd have to go the British.
Yeah.
Just for the
That's a
retros.
lot of
They're
models
gorgeous
to paint
though.
too.
Yeah. They would look awesome
Because it always
on the
looks
board.
good with lots of models on the board.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse?
Oh, I just want to. No, I forgot what I was going to say. That's unlike
Is that the
me,
beers?
isn't it? It's the beers, yeah. Homebrew is kicking in. Haven't got a feed at Muddy's yet, by the way. Just
So
Yeah,
tight
yeah.
of him. He's such a poor host.
They got chocolate
Just
chip
quietly,
cookies.
cookies.
listeners,
I know.
If you want to send some pizzas round or donate some pizzas
Do
to
you
us,
want to order pizzas?
I've eaten. I'm fine because I knew
Oh.
you'd be tight.
Who's delivering them?
Who's delivering?
What? Anyway, back to the question. So for me, why do I play tabletop games? When Greg, this is a Greg topic, by the way, listeners. This is, we rotate through who comes up with the topics, and
I haven't done one yet.
there's a reason. Now
Because you don't write stuff down.
I thought my one was Mel and Kim.
Mel and Kim. Oh, I still
the
feel
80s.
bad. She died
Listeners.
from the zombie episode. She was dead, and we were
She's
joking
20
about her
something.
being.
She's only 23 or 25.
Yeah.
Back then,
No, when
When she died.
she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, we made all these jokes about Mel and Kim
You're
being
kidding
zombies,
me?
and one of them
That's
actually
what
died.
that's why when you sent through that it makes sense then when you sent
Yeah,
a
if you
text
looked at-
message.
if you looked
I didn't
at
get
it-
that text message
Oh,
when you
I-
said she's a zombie.
It
I actually
said-
feel really bad.
It said died age, and it was like 23 or 25
Yeah, so
or
like
something.
1990 or something.
So she must have only just brought that album out and
That's tragedy.
kicked the bucket.
Yeah, Mel and Kim.
Unbelievable.
Tay.
Anyway, enough of that.
Back to the question. And I think this I mean, this comes down to, it's got something to do with why we're doing it now. For me, tabletop gaming is an outlet for creativity. I know it sounds a bit weird, but it's definitely something for me. I've always had a bit of a creative streak. I've always written stories. I've always designed stuff and tried to do other things. And for me, the gaming has become a real outlet for that. And I find, especially as I get older, I get less and less opportunity to be creative. I get less and less, chance to make music or to write a story or to do these sorts of things. So being able to come out and do some gaming and get out some of my creative juices that way, that's certainly a huge appeal for me. And that comes down to me. I love running campaigns, love designing storylines, RPG campaigns is huge for that. I love coming up with my stuff for that. So I think a huge appeal for me is probably, that creative outlet. It doesn't really come through in my painting or anything like that, but that's my skill level and amount of time I put into it.
So things like Star Wars, the Star Wars RPG that we did last year.
Yeah.
And what you continue to do this year, didn't you? You've just finished
I've been playing,
a couple of months ago.
So
that's used, that really scratches that itch, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because it is storytelling, essentially. And it's the same we've talked about in the past, Infinity campaigns we've run, or the fantasy campaign we did was fantastic. Like, again, but it comes down to, it's also collaboration with the other players as well. Like, that's also important. You can't have creation without collaboration, I think. So
yeah,
and that's one of the reasons we do this podcast. It's a way of still being
keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, exactly.
These government workers, which I think we all are actually.
Actually, we are.
These government workers got all this downtime.
How much long service you got?
None at the moment.
Yeah, baby. I got a lot.
I'm not eligible to take it either.
Have you not done 10 yet?
No.
Oh,
I know.
Lightweight.
Just a baby.
Lightweights.
But the other, and probably equally as important for me, is that tabletop gaming and mateship are huge.
Oh yeah, that's a given, 100%.
If I want to talk about why I play, it's the people I play with and the fucking shenanigans that we get up to.
Even though some people don't feed you.
I know, wasting away over here.
Disgraceful.
You guys were just talking about how you were trying to lose weight, and
disgraceful.
I'm just trying to help you out.
I was actually worried about my weight loss, man.
Were you?
You're
smaller than me.
Need to watch some storm drains. You might fall through them.
Oh, I know. So I think it gets me out of the house. It's travel, man. How many away trips have we had in this hobby? And I think that
we've had a few, haven't we? Especially when you go back to the Blood Bowl days.
Yeah.
Like trips to Burwood, etc.
Wait, are we welcome back there yet?
Oh, yeah.
What's the statute of limitations? 7 years?
I seriously would go back. I'm actually up for it, I think.
Blood Bowl?
No, not Blood Bowl. I would go back, but not for Blood Bowl. I'm so over it.
I don't know. I think I would because I don't think I would take it serious.
Did you take it seriously?
Until you sat across from another geek and he was like, "Want to smash your face in?" and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, but I have a life, so I win.
You could just breathe on him and kill him.
Win at life.
With your beer breath.
Yeah.
Poison him.
Auto win.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about, if we're going top 10 moments in gaming, very few of them have to do with actually playing a game.
Yeah. Well, I think they're separate. There's two separate things, aren't they? Like, your gaming wins or whatever, whatever it is, are separate to our big nights out. That's mates having an absolute, ball. Yeah, yes, we played a game during the day, but the big night out, that's a separate thing altogether. You can't compare getting wasted in Sydney and being dragged around at 3 a.m. trying to find various establishments to like rolling dice and like successfully breaking armor and putting a dude in the KO box, whatever it is in Blood Bowl. Like the
games are relevant.
They're just like polar opposites.
The games are relevant. Last time we went down to CamCon, I just wanted to keep sleeping. I didn't even want to go the second day to play games.
Second day was tough.
Yeah, I would have. I was quite happy to.
You weren't the other one. Do you know my first round opponent on day 2 didn't bring his army. He got to the convention, got to our table, went to unpack his miniatures. He's like, I don't have my army. He legit left his army.
Yeah. How trashed was he?
Not at all. the other Infinity guys, like, we were trying to get them out. They all stayed in. Like, there's pictures of them on Facebook, like, just in their living room, having a few beers in the living room. You know, maybe 10 in the living room, whatever. Whereas we were in Mooseheads.
We could not post pictures from Mooseheads on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
This picture has been flagged by Facebook.
I still will not
standards.
forget the Uke Bowl trip where on Sunday morning, I was like, I think it was you or whoever in our group. I was like, where's Jacob? Oh, he's just over there having a sleep. Like, you were lying on the
Is
floor.
that when he fell in the garden?
No, that's when if you had a tactical. Yeah, it might have been. It might have
Fell
been.
over the step. There was a
Yeah,
little
the night
fence
before.
thing, and you tipped
Hey,
over and you fell.
That
in
was
it.
like at least 3 steps high. That was tough.
It was hilarious.
And then the next morning had the tactical chunder for a bit.
Tackle
and then-
Chunder was
Nothing
the
wrong
best
with
move
the
of the
tactical
weekend.
chunder.
And then went and had a sleep just before before his opponent rocked up. Just had a little tactical kip as well under.
You guys
in the
never
corner
did
of the
that
room.
when you push the chairs together in the restaurant, have a sleepover? Look, it
was
was a
classic.
big weekend, and I feel
Classic.
very classy right now. Thank you for bringing all that up. But I think again that comes back to like I've got so many stories that I just would not have if it wasn't for gaming. Like, and I don't think you can get this necessarily in other gaming hobbies. Like, you certainly can't with online gaming or PC gaming or anything like that. And again,
But that's
prove
because
me
it's
wrong.
sociable. That's because you're actually playing
You have
against
that
opponent.
social element.
Like,
Yeah.
100%. Like, I get, like I mentioned tactics, but the other element that I like, which is tactical related, is the buzz you get whenever you roll, 2d, you're 12, you roll 2d6 and you get double six.
Yeah.
Or you roll a crit, or you put together a list to do something, and guess what? It actually achieved it, and you done it.
It achieves what you
Or-
set out to do, yeah.
I played 2 games recently against Josh Donovan and John Yance, where I was against it the whole from the get-go, right? From the minute they picked up the dice, I was getting rooted, 100%. I was losing, and then managed to pull off the narrowest, slimmest, jammiest of victories just by fluking it, basically, just rolling the dice.
Diced them.
Well, no, I didn't dice them. Like, I set up.
Sounds like a dice.
He diced them.
No, I didn't. I'm sure they would say I didn't.
Josh, John,
Six
hit us
dice.
up, tell us.
Six
No,
dice.
I did not. But
Six
it's just,
dice.
in your mind, you put together this plan where you go, right, I'm getting shafted, but if I do X, Y, Z, I've got the slimmest of chances to pull off maybe a win, maybe a draw. I'm not too sure yet. We'll see how we go. And you pull off X, Y, Z, and you roll the dice, and guess what? Comes up a result, and you're like, sweet, I've just done that. And I sort of mapped that out in my mind. I've just achieved it. And that buzz you feel, you just go, fuck yeah, that's wicked. I remember...
And then he can't sleep for the rest.
Yeah,
of the
you
night.
can't. Then you can't. Like the amount of times we play Blood Bowl, we play up to midnight, and then you have to go home and you're trying to sleep, and you look at the fucking ceiling, going, that was wicked. Just threw this long bomb pass to my receiver, and then he just, had to go for it, stick it into the end zone, and score the
Or
the
you're rocking
TD.
yourself in the corner because you've double lined it.
Yeah.
Go for
Like
it.
that adrenaline buzz. If it is adrenaline, I think it is adrenaline.
Mm.
That buzz you get. Like I remember listening to Nova on the way to work, and then Susie O'Neill, the Olympian, and she was saying that one thing she really misses is winning, participating and winning, and that buzz you get whenever you win. And I mean, she's like what, triple gold, medalist, whatever, Olympian. Like she's stellar. She's been there and done it. And then she said afterwards, she goes, "You know what? I feel sad because I'll never ever feel that again in my life." And I thought, sort of, whoa, you're saying that on national radio.
Need a new
But-
hobby.
Yeah, but you know what? You need,
Come play fantasy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like going back to what you're saying. I think we do it because you're playing against an opponent where you have that social contract, and we've talked about this before about what makes a great opponent. So if you go out there with that mindset against this other player, man, to get that buzz, it's electric. Love it.
That's nice. I completely agree. Never kept me up at night. I was lucky that
Yeah.
when I was at Catholic high school, the priest showed me a really good way to get to sleep when you. You know the wrestling move, the half Nelson, full Nelson.
I'm not going there. I'm not
I got
going
the
there.
father Nelson.
But I remember a game against JT. It was the Blood Bowl final, and because I won the league, I've got the cup at home. So if I could check the year for you if I went home. But
Listen to it.
anyway, we're not recording at my house. But anyway, whatever year it was, JT was in the final, and we played each other obviously. And I reckon I maybe got about maybe 2 hours sleep that night. And the next day I was on a high the whole day. I was just like buzzing. It was back in the day when we were playing like 20 games a week. So to win it, it was just like
It was an achievement. It was an achievement.
Yeah, I was just like, but the thing is, I said to myself, I actually said to the missus, I want to win the cup this year. And she goes, right, if you're going to do it, we'll commit to it and do it. And that's why I was playing.
Do you know, if I said that to my missus, she'd go, "You're a fucking wanker." It's a fucking game.
No, she said, if you want to do something, you got to do it properly. Go out and do it. Don't do it half-assed.
So
Whereas the previous years, I did it half-assed. I didn't take it seriously.
Did she take you out in the backyard and start practicing rolling your dice? And she's yelling at you,
rubbing them like Shane Warne style, eh?
Roll it
Come
harder,
on,
come on,
you could do better than that. Come on, give us a bit of overarm.
Wiping you down with the towel. Come on, Greg.
Got a bit of technique.
When you're jogging around the block.
Harder, faster, stronger.
That's amazing.
What goes on at your house?
Muddy,
Yes.
you got anything else to add, mate?
No, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm actually
You've been
good.
very quiet this episode. I'm just a bit concerned.
No,
I think he's getting a little bit tipsy here. I think those cocktails you have
Slushies
are
adding
Yeah,
up.
slushies
you're
are
about to
adding up.
pass out.
Yeah.
You are too.
When's the strippers coming around?
You're supposed to organise it.
Oh, sorry.
Same with the pizzas.
So-
Social
Oh,
media
yeah,
management.
there you go.
Come on.
Oh yeah, there's a pattern happening.
Yeah. Tell you what, I reckon
I can't
if you
answer.
want to get likes on our Facebook page, mate, I'm not saying as social media manager you're doing a bad job. I'm just saying.
And also if we YouTubed it, yeah, we're talking massive exposure.
I think people would want to watch strippers on YouTube.
I reckon. I'm guessing.
Look,
but
I reckon we should try it and see how it
Let's
goes.
just see how it pans out.
What's the worst that could happen?
Maybe we could get
Oh, yeah?
sponsored by strippers.
Yeah,
You reckon they'd want to sponsor a podcast?
probably not.
No? Oh.
Greg, any final thoughts or
Man, I'm
any
cool
last
after
tangents
my,
we want to run down?
Yeah, after my buzz, I'm cruising
He's buzzed
now.
up now.
Yeah,
He hasn't
yeah.
even won
It
anything.
is. It's you can see the
Look at him.
veins.
It's like he just won the cup again.
Yeah, thinking that cup on my trophy cabinet. You got a trophy? Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I always beat you, didn't I, in the final? Yeah, that's right.
I've got one.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you got.
Do you know?
one.
I think even Brad has a.
Brad has one as well.
Brad has a cup
I
trophy.
got,
right.
I got one.
Shout outs to Brad.
I won the
Big up, Brad.
McMurdy's.
Big Murdy's.
I got a McMurdy's.
Is there a trophy come with that though?
Yeah. Well, I got a miniature that I never gave back to Jacob. It's like a halfling cooking a sausage or something. I've got it over there. You're not getting it back.
Brad did get a special cup after he beat me in the final.
Look, I didn't get anything.
Oh, you didn't want this cup.
Oh, it was very special.
And I guess if I want to add my final thoughts here is that the reason I game, it's what I keep saying all along is it's just such a good time with good mates. If you play in the right games with the right people, you're not taking it too seriously and you're aiming for everyone at the table to have fun. Then you can't go wrong. Like to me, and I think
It's a
summed
great
up
hobby.
best, social contract. If you want to put it that way, everyone's at the table for the same thing. And again, we're really lucky that we've gone past the stage where we need to rock up and play random cock snaps that just want to smash up. We're really lucky, I think, that most of the tournaments we go to and the events we go to, that those players don't really find a place there either. So we've got a really nice little thing happening in Southeast Queensland, which we should be all pretty proud of, I think.
100%.
And I think it makes us, as a hobby, just a brilliant place time to be in at the moment. So looking forward to it, and definitely looking forward to get out there and keep doing it over the near future. So that's all from me. So if there's nothing else, we might wrap it up there.
Apparently we've got to go get some dinner.
That's right. Some pizzas.
Well, yeah, you'd think any time before 10 o'clock would be nice, wouldn't you? So if you are listening and you want to keep listening to us, you can follow us
Good way to lose weight.
Thanks, Greg. Did that feel a little barbed to you? Mate, is that quite pointed? Someone's
I don't know.
direction?
Only because you were saying you were losing weight. I'm like, well, don't eat. That's a good way to lose weight.
It is. You know what is another good way? Is cocaine.
Oh my god.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Now, if you want to if you want to follow us on social media, feel free to hit us up on Facebook, Twitter. We've got Podbean
If you
app.
want a letter sent to you, I'm sure if you send us your
Yes.
address, Muddy
It's stamped.
will be more than happy to send you a letter.
Stamped self-addressed envelope to Lockbag.
I'll handwrite that shit.
Handwritten as well.
Yeah.
What more could you
I
want?
won't even print that out.
Hit us up, Power Stance Gamers on all your social media.
Send it off. Get it through customs.
For our lady listeners, of course.
Of course. Of course.
Follow us on social media. Facebook. You can download the Podbean app. Get up with our feed there. iTunes. We've got a YouTube channel. Muddy, our social media manager, will tweet you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Alright. Good night, people.
Thank you for listening to Power Stance Gamers, the #1 place for tabletop banter. You know you love us. See you soon.
It's Eternal and Mix, well on the track once again, killing it, T-Dot to Munch, we all connection, funk resurrection, ha, yeah.